Hello, everyone, and welcome to a conversation around money and around money, just money. So, I'm Chandana, and Hi Noor. I'm here for today's call for all of you, and I would love you all to bring your questions and to bring your awarenesses around money while we speak. Feel free to lift your hand and ask a question. Feel free to share. Um, what can we create together with money that is so different that gets to surprise you? So we talked about in the graphic about money done different. Hey Swati, good to see you, my dear. And the idea is to actually speak around money and also bring in what is money done different. So for how many of you have done a Joy of Business class? Like, even if it's just an introduction, it's not just an introduction. How many of you have done any Joy of Business class? And a free intro, an intro, anything? Okay, all right. So how many of you know about the Joy of Business classes? Elda, yes, Elda has done the Business Done Different. Awesome. Okay. So a few of you know about the Joy of Business classes. So Joy of Business is a speciality of access consciousness that's been created by amazing Bhavna, created by Simon Molasses and Gary Douglas. Sakshi, good. And Joy of Business is Hita. Hi. And Joy of Business is one of those specialities which doesn't just change how you look at business, it literally changes any aspect in your life that you have been looking at, creating with. Like, it could be a relationship, it could be money, it could be a project, it could be your body. When you choose a Joy of Business class, literally everything shifts in your world. So something that I heard Gary talk about long back is that if you're in business, you are in the creation of your life. But how many of you don't acknowledge that you are in business because you're like, but I don't have a business. I'm just a housewife. And when you actually say that and you believe that, you are actually not creating your life. Because if you have blood flowing through your veins, you are in business. So that's one of the classes in Joy of Business, which is called the Business Done Different. And a lot of times people will lump business and money together. So they'll be like, oh, business, if I do business, I have to have money or I don't have to have money. It's like, well, I'm doing a business class, but I'm doing it for the money, or I'm doing a money class, so I'm doing it for the business. Yeah, everything changes in your life. Yet, what could change for you if you recognize the energy of business and the energy of money? What if you could recognize that you can transform any energy into money? What if that is money done different? Which is, again, one of the classes under the speciality of Joy of Business. So this, my friends, is an invitation to all of you to recognize that what if money is an energy that you can transform into anything? So if you're not, say for instance, so how many of you are happy with your financial situation, happy with the money that you have? Swati's laughing. She's like, really? Like, really? No. Okay, so how many of you are not happy with the money that you have? How many of you are not happy with your financial reality?
It's always about choosing more and more and more and more.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. More, right? Like, you always know there's more. Varsha, me. Yeah. So how many of you have recognized that? How many of you have gone into believing that you're not good with money because you don't have the money that you would like to have? Or that you're stupid with money because you don't have the money that you have? Or that you are not educated enough? Or that you're unlucky with money? All of you? Few of you? None of you? I'd love some feedback, guys, just to know where we are going. Few of you? None of you? All of you? Yeah,
Me.
okay. Thank you. For me on my screen, I know the right side of my screen is engaging. And then I have Varsha who says me. Everybody else, no one wants to share. No one wants to talk about. Thank you, Preeti. Yay, I have more people saying yes. All right. So how many of you have recognized that you're not satisfied with your money? You're not satisfied with your financial reality. You're not satisfied with what you have. Yet you blame your business or you blame your partner who brings home the money. Oh, Greta, yes, thank you. Or else you blame the financial, cycle in the world that's going on, or you blame the recession, or you blame the government. So everywhere that you're actually blaming somebody or something for your money flows or your lack of money flows, you are not allowing yourself to acknowledge that you are the one who uninvited money. I blame myself. Thank you for that, Sri. So everywhere that you blame yourselves, you blame somebody else, you blame something else for the lack of money or no money or money, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, or 100 shots, voice, forward, species, creation, and beyonds. When you go into blaming somebody, you actually give up being the power, being the source of creating money. And when you give up the source, you've just uninvited money from your life. Now, how do we uninvite money? It's like, what do you mean by uninviting money? Like, your party became boring. So money said no to your party and went to another party. Have you heard money follows joy? And money will come to the party that's actually fun. So how boring are you making your party that money says, oh, I'll just skip this party? Swati's like, oh, really? Yeah. Everywhere that you're making your party boring, that has money skipping your party and going to the other one's party, would you destroy and uncreate that? And then you wonder, why did money not come to me? I worked so hard, I prayed so hard, I did everything that the astrologer said to me. I asked all the questions of access consciousness. Why did money not come to me? How much fun were you having while you were doing and being that? Everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, call 100 shots, voice, forward, spaces, creation, and beyond. So when you uninvite money to your world, money is an energy that will flow. It'll flow to anyone who's willing to have it, anyone who's willing to have fun. Because money always follows joy. It's one of the oldest lines that we've heard in access consciousness. Yet we forget that really easily, because when there's a lack of money, it's an instant reaction to go to sadness or to go to blame or else to go to see what the problem is. So what if you could stop going to instant reaction and you could start to ask? You could start to ask, everywhere that I've uninvited money, I invite money into my life. Just a little sneak peek. This is the manual of Money Done Different, which is thicker than any manual on this earth. And it has some really amazing information. I just wanted to actually talk a little bit around how much we have been programmed into not having money instead of being programmed into receiving money. Like there's so much, exactly that, Vedika, there's so much conditioning around the fact that one must want money. Thank you for that. So everywhere that you've been conditioned and programmed into believing anything about money, anything, any point of view, everywhere you're believing that, everywhere you have hardwired yourself into making that true for you, would you all please destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. So money is an energy, and the only thing that we actually do with energy is we transform it. Okay, when we transform it, what we're actually being with that is a flow. There is no flow that's right, and there is no flow that's wrong. Okay, so when you're receiving money, did you receive it, or did it bypass you and go to somebody else? When it bypasses you and goes to somebody else, it's also because you decided that it's too much to receive, or that you're not worth it, or that you don't deserve it. It again comes from a space of your programming and your conditioning. And then there's also something known as the pre-programming that you have created, that with the messed reality that you are now holding on to justify no receiving. So all the pre-programming in the messed reality, in order to maintain the limited you with the limited money, rather than finding out what the not limited you and what the unlimited money you could receive could be, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, species, creations, and beyonds. Sometimes I feel ashamed to receive money. Wow, thank you for that, Sri. How much of shame is attached to having money? How much of shame is attached to not having money? If you notice, the shame attached to having money is way more than the shame attached to not having money. Isn't that so fucking strange? And how much of that shame to having money comes from the point of view that money is bad, money is wrong, money is evil, money is a vicious thing, money breaks families, money leads to fights, money is bad, money is bad, money is bad. You hear that everywhere you go, you watch that in movies, you read that in books. So everywhere, every lifetime that you've been hardwired to believe that money is bad, money is wrong, money is evil, money is vicious, money is the reason families break, money is the reason why XYZ. And everywhere you buy that and hardwire yourself into believing that, would you destroy and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. So we all know, if you've been doing a few access classes, you will know that, how differently access engages with the energy of money. It's not, how we are introduced to engaging with money is very different to how this reality will ask you to deal with money or to handle money. None of you are really asked to engage with money, but you are told to handle money and to deal with money. And where you go to handle money and where you go to deal with money is where you already have a point of view that money is hard. Money is something that's difficult. I don't know much about money. It's already coming from those points of views. So what if you could engage that? What if you could shift and transform that energy? What if you could mutate that energy to how much fun can I have with money and how can I engage with money? Yeah. Somebody recently asked me, why are you always talking about money in access consciousness? I said, why not? And he was like, no, it just sounds so materialistic. It's like, interesting point of view, right? So how many of you were told that you're so wrong that you're always talking about money? You're so wrong because you're asking for money. Everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and cold, all 100 shots, boys, COVID, species, creations, and beyonds. So the shame that you have with money, with receiving money, the Vedika says every time I receive money, I'm weighed with guilt. That, wow. So all the blame, all the shame, all the regret, all the guilt that you have with money is all what keeps, is of course a distractor implants, but it's also where you are operating within the meshed reality with money, which is the most limited reality with money. And what keeps that in place is the distractor implants. So till you are operating from guilt, shame, blame, regret, guilt, or anger, rage, fury, hate, any of the distractor implants, when you're operating from those with money, you could do as much, but you're not going to step beyond the meshed reality, because the meshed reality, you will create more. Yes, you will. You will you will use your tools, you will go from 1 to 5, but you will go from 1 to 5, keeping one as your basis, keeping one as your reference point. You will not go from 1 to 1 million, because you are still in the meshed reality with money. Everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hawk, all 100 shots, boys, forward, spaces, creations, and beyonds. What do you mean by engaging with money? Oh, thank you for asking that question, Leonie. Thank you for catching that. Okay, before I go to you, I want to see what Shri says. Example, I want to ask for advanced payment for a project, but I feel ashamed for asking. Yeah. Do you value what you know that has you creating the project? If you don't value you, Shri, and please feel free to unmute yourself, darling. If you don't feel free to, if you don't value yourself, receiving money will always be a shame, because now you believe that you are a cheat, or you believe that you are a fraud. You believe you don't deserve the money you're asking for. So everywhere that you devalue the value of you, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hawk, all 100 shots, boys, forward, spaces, creations, and beyonds. So I'm now going to go to Leonie's question. What do you mean by engaging with money? So what is engaging, guys? You know, you've heard of engaging. I assume you've heard of the word engaging in access consciousness, where, you know, even otherwise, where you actually engage with an energy, right? You engage, like when you engage with people, you're not engaging with people, because people is again the meshed reality. You're engaging with their being. You're engaging with the energy that they bring into your life. You allow your energy to engage with them, and you allow yourself to be the gift and for you to receive in all of that. So what does it look like when you are engaging with money? Do you look at yourself as a gift? Do you look at yourself as a contribution to money? Or do you come from the space of, I need money? When you come from the space of, I need money, you're not showing up as engaging with money. You're coming from the space of a transactional reality with money, of give and take. Yeah, Jean, I need money. That I need money is where you reject engaging and you step into taking or needing. But the entire energy here, guys, is about knowing that you engaging with money, you are a gift to money. You know, we believe we need money. Interestingly enough, money needs you, which I only got after I did the Money Done Different class. I was like, what? Money needs me? How? Like, come on, what do you mean by that? And it is only when, you know, I read the manual and I got facilitated, I recognized that, wow, money needs me, money needs my creation, because money is a byproduct of my creation. Money needs me. I don't need money. And that's money done different. When you start to recognize that you are the creator and you are engaging with the element, with the energy of money, that's when you start to say yes to money. When you are disengaging with money is when you're not present with money. You're kind of either you're overwhelmed about your bills or you're overwhelmed about the money that you have to create, or there's a lot of overwhelm in your world around money. Where there's overwhelm, where there's fear, where there's need, where there's greed, where there's lack, where there's a want, there is no engaging. It's just you living and creating and asking and needing from the meshed reality. And when you engage with money and you recognize that, wow, I am a gift to money, you're actually being the generosity of being, which is one of the 6 pillars that we talk about in the Money Done Different class, which is an amazing section, which I will not be able to touch today, which we will be touching upon in class. But there's such an energy of you, the being, that gets to engage and create as the 6 pillars instead of the transactional reality. We are living in limited reality when we are living in meshed reality. Absolutely, Elda. The meshed reality is where you have limited yourself and you have decided this is all I can do. This is all I can have. This is all I am worth. And maybe if I work hard enough, maybe if I'm lucky enough, maybe if I pray hard enough, from 1, I can have 5. Hey, Maya. Hi, beauty. Thank you for being in class, sweetheart. Get your mommy money.
Every time you're on a call, she just want to come and sit in my lap and see the call.
Oh, I love her. She knows the energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was, by the way, guys, little Maya was 4 months when she came to class?
2 months.
2 months.
First foundation.
My youngest foundation participant, 2-month-old. How does it get any better? Look at her now. Wow. Yeah. So the 6 pillars, when you are willing to, when you're willing to engage with money, when you're willing to go beyond the cognitive dissonance and intertwining cognitive dissonance with the money that you have, is when you can actually go from a 1 to a million. Otherwise, you will constantly be asking, how can I have more money? How can I have more money? How can I create more money? How can I create more money? The underlying point of view being, I have 1. The underlying point of view being, I can create 10. 10 is very big for you right now because you're at 1. Million is unfathomable. You can't even see that. You're like, no, it's not possible. But when you break through the meshed reality and you break through the intertwining of cognitive dissonance, is when you can actually go from 1 to a million. And that's when people say, I created money as so by magic. Yes, that is magic with money. That is engaging with money. What question can I ask to engage with money? Jatinder, you can always ask. So when you engage with money, it's more of a being, okay? You can ask questions. You can constantly ask questions. You can constantly clear the demons. You can constantly go to, I'm going to clear the demons because the demons aren't letting me have money. I'm going to clear all the demons. But till you're not truly choosing to destroy and not create all the programming, all the conditioning, all the intertwining of cognitive dissonance that you have with your family, with your neighbors, with your teachers, with your students, with your friends, with your kids, with your grandparents, with everybody. There's so much of intertwining of cognitive dissonance that you have embraced, that you have engaged with around money, that you have made that so solid that till you don't actually destroy and uncreate that, you will engage with money, but there will always be the messed reality that will control. Yes, you will have more. It's not like you're not going to have more. Yes, you will grow. You're using the tools of access consciousness. Yes, you will have more money. Guaranteed. The question here is, do you want to go from a 1 to a 5, and then from a 5 to a 10, and then a 10 to a 12, and a 12 to a 15, 15 to a 17, and then maybe 17 to 10 again, and then again a 10 to a 12? Do you want that as your life? Or do you want 1 to a million? And now, million to what next? What if that is possible? Yeah, unlimited, that more. That energy of unlimited is real, but we haven't allowed ourselves to engage with it. We have forced ourselves to engage with the messed reality, which is the most unlimited reality. Everything that brought up, would you all destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, forward, spaces, creation and beyonds. Sakshi, how to feel ease with money? I feel so heavy. Sakshi. Okay, what are feelings, darling? Feel free to unmute yourself. What are feelings?
That is something messed reality, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
But
Feelings
yeah, we
are,
are completely operating from that only
yeah.
in our real life. We have always labeled each feeling, each emotion of ours. Sorry for the disturbance, no little one.
So, so feelings are what you invent to believe that you are finite. You are finite with money. You are finite with creation. You are finite with choices. So every time you feel heavy about money, are you feeling heavy about money, or is that the heaviness of your points of views about money? That. Because it's so heavy. I mean, think about, there was a time when I used to go to the bank with my husband, and I used to have a fight every time I would come. I hated going to the bank. I was like, I don't want to go to the bank. And he'd be like, you have to come and sign. I want to go. Why can't he come home and get it signed by me? I'd be like, Chanda, why do you resist it so much? I wouldn't understand it why. And I would come back home and I would sleep. There was so much of unconsciousness around the energy of money in my world, that the only way I could handle the energy of money was to check out by sleeping. The energy of money was an overwhelm for me. That's where it becomes so heavy that you don't recognize the lightness of it. Money is light. Did you get that, darling? Yeah. So ask, how many points of views are you aware of? How many points of views do you have of money that you are aware of? That's heavy. And is this heaviness yours, or is this heaviness the points of views that you are aware of everyone around you? How much of intertwining cognitive dissonance is that with money? Wow, everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, forward, spaces, greater and beyonds. All of money comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Okay? Use that tool. Noor, what are the things that block us in receiving money? Your points of views, darling. Your points of views is what stops you. There's nothing outside of you that stops you. It's only your points of views. So we can look at our points of views. We can pock and pod all our points of views. We can take a few days. We can take a few months. We can take a few years. Or we can take just a few hours and sit together with the money done different class and pock and pod every area of your life that has stopped you from being the infiniteness and the engagement with money. Everything that doesn't allow that, with total ease, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, or 100 shots, voice, forward, spaces, creations. What else? Does anyone else have a question?
Chandana, I have something to share and ask.
Yes,
Recently,
please.
we've done a bars class. So the participants have come. It was a great fun. It was an amazing class. The participants had left, and then I realized that, oh, the teacher didn't pay me. It was like such a humanoid. I was like, okay. And then I had to send my scanner and ask them to pay and all of that. So what is this with money, receiving money as a humanoid?
Thank you for that,
How much
Swati.
more ease can I have with that?
I've also done that a lot. Early days, I would forget and be like, oh, when I'm counting my money, this seems to be less. What happened? And then somebody would say, I didn't pay you. Can I have your bank details? Gosh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, so humanoid creates for fun. A humanoid does not create for money. And that's another aspect that you want to look at. Because if you're going to try and create the way the humans create in the meshed reality, it's going to be a hard struggle. It's going to be really hard. Because now you have to fit into the meshed reality. You have to contract yourself. You have to contract your awareness. You have to contract your creativity. You have to contract the control that you are. You have to contract your awareness. You have to contract all of that. And now you have to show up as someone who's struggling to have money. So you can still be in the meshed reality. What if you never struggled for money? What if you as a humanoid knew that you simply choose money? Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive that, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyond. Is it that you were unwilling to receive money, or is it that you were having so much fun that? What if you include money in the fun that you have? Everywhere money is not fun. Everywhere you've been told money is not fun, money is not for fun, money is hard. And everywhere that you have fun, every time that you have fun, you disengage from money. You destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, or 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Thank you for your question, Swati. Love having a luxurious life and love money, but each time money comes and it goes back to basic things. Yeah, that. Are you creating to pay your bills or are you creating to have fun? Everywhere you're creating so you can pay your bills. Money is not coming, darling, because now your party got boring. And I know it's easy for me to sit here and say, create to have fun. I know it's easy for me to say, money will only come if you're having fun. And I also know it's hard for a person whose rental is on his head or he has to pay for his fees and he doesn't have the money. I know it's hard in that moment. And in that moment, it's like, fuck the fun. I need the money. That's like almost the energy. But guys, this is the transformation of energy that's required here. Yeah, all of that saps the fun from money. Because you're looking at money to pay your bills. You're looking at money you're looking at money as a way of getting rid of it. You're not being the invitation to money. You're not being the engagement with money. Everywhere that you are disengaging and everywhere you're making money heavy, hard, and the only purpose of money is to pay your bills, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, or 100 shorts, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. How to ask if we need to pay the bills then? If you're looking to pay the bills, ask, what lifestyle can I create that money can support me? What if it's not the bills? What if it's a lifestyle that you ask for, the luxury that you ask for? What if money can support your lifestyle? What if that's the job of money? Are you willing to ask for such a big lifestyle that money has to show up? Every time money doesn't come, what do? You contract your lifestyle. And you go to, oh, I can't afford this, so I must contract my lifestyle. Don't contract, expand it. Okay? To be more ease in receiving money, can I ask, everywhere I believe money is going to pay debts and bills and create and destroy? Absolutely, you can, darling. Yes, you can, Wanda. And what if you could actually have so much money that you have money lying in your lockers, in your banks, in your wallets, in your cupboards, just lying. What if you could have so much money that money could just be lying around as a lazy piece of shit? You willing to have that? Vidika. I know. It's a very wicked thought.
There's so much ease in it.
Right? Yeah, Swati, get that energy into your worlds. What if you can wake up in the morning and be like, today I'd like to go and buy a Chanel bag. Where's the Chanel boutique? Let me just check it out. Instead of, let me first go to my cupboard and see how much money have I hidden about my husband and my children so they don't steal it from me, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and my parents. Oh my God, I don't have enough money. Okay, I'll hide it back before someone steals it from me, and I'll buy it after a few months when I have more money. Everywhere you do that, destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Yes, Jean. I know, Elda, we women all do that, right? Yeah.
So yeah, so actually this just happened like a week ago. Uh, Chandana, like my sister is in Europe, so she's asking me whether I want to get the Chanel bag. So and then I got a shock with the currency right now. Start calculating. It was so crazy. I tell her that it's just scare me away.
That it's
So
too much money, right? So what did you do? You said, no, not Chanel, maybe a Fendi. Contract
I
with
say, oh, that's scary. I don't want anymore.
yes, it's too much money. So everywhere, too much money is a thing in your world. Everywhere too much money is a programming in your world. Everywhere too much money is a conditioning that's been done to you. Would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, or 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. What if there is nothing known as too much money?
Yeah.
Do you ever say there's too much oxygen? Do you ever say there's too much air?
Nah.
No. So what gets you to say there's too much money, or this is too much money, or this is not enough? Everything that is being destroyed and uncreated. Right and wrong, good and bad, hot and pop, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creation, and beyonds. Yeah, Elda. Coach, go.
I'm still scared.
You're still scared. Of course you are. You have always converted the energy, you have transformed the energy of excitement to fear. How much fun do you have with that? How much fun do you all have with transforming the energy of excitement to fear? Everything that brought up, would you all destroy and uncreate that?
Yes,
Right?
please.
Bad, hot and powerful, 100 shots, voice, poets, species, patience. I love that. Elda says, go buy it. Margareta says, go buy it and give me the bag.
Okay, thank you, Chandana.
We are all cheering you on. Yeah, Dee?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, my dear. All right. Any more questions or are we good for tonight? I think we're good for tonight. Maybe we are making it too significant. Yeah, of course you are. Money is one of the most significant elements on this planet. That makes the messed reality. Hi. That makes the messed reality so strong. So what can change for all of you if you were to choose a life, to choose a living, to choose a lifestyle that's way beyond the messed reality that's never been created up until now? What lifestyle would you choose? And ask money to support that. How much money would then have to show up? Everything I believe that the dollar rate may create limitation to have peace with my lifestyle. Wanda, thank you for that, darling. You know, the dollar rate, even in India, it's almost like a dollar is almost 100 rupees, right? $1 is equal to 100 rupees almost. You can either make it significant or you can be like, okay, how much more would I have to create now? That's what I'm asking. I'm like, whoa, $1 equals to 100 rupees. Cool. How much more do I have to create? What if it's not relevant? What if this conversion is once again one of the biggest elements of the messed reality that are created to maintain lack and separation? What if you could be like, wow, $1, 100 rupees? Whoa, how much more can I create now? What if you can be that energy? Change it. Change it, Wanda. Change it for yourself. As you change it for yourself, you change it for your country, you change it for the world. That's the contribution that you be with money and everything else. And if you all would like more, deeper and deeper and deeper, and you would like to get this amazing, amazing manual, which is like, I don't know how many pages, like a lot of pages, almost a lot of pages, 130 or something. Yeah, 135, 130 pages of clearings, of tools. If you would like to join us, we are starting on the 13th of July, every Monday, 4 Mondays, for 2.5 hours. It could stretch to 3 hours because the manual is big. So you're all welcome to join us. If you would like more information, feel free to reach out. And yeah, let's change our financial reality and let's be the embodiment of money done different. All right, my lovelies. Thank you all for joining. Bye, guys. You're welcome. Thank you for all the thank yous. Thank you for all the red hearts. Bye, guys. Thank you, Dodi. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandana.
You're welcome, sweethearts. Hey, Dodi.